Hari Bol. Welcome back, everyone. Hare Krishna. Jai Maharaj. So we're going to continue reading from A Revealed Truth. It's our evening book, really, but we're snucking it up into the midday because it's so wonderful. Snucking it up, we are. And we're on a new chapter, which is Horosho. It's chapter 7. In section 3 of the book, called The Soul, and which begins with this Sanskrit sutra. Souls are separated parts of Krishna. Some of them are captivated by Maya. Some of them are liberated from Maya by devotion.
I have a question.
Okay.
So sometimes they say soul, sometimes they say heart. Now you say, in one sentence you say the soul is the heart of Krishna?
No, I didn't say that. Souls are separated parts of Krishna.
Oh. When does the heart come in? Well, maybe you can explain.
Heart's not mentioned there. Tad binam shangs cha jivan prakriti kavalitan tad vimuktangs cha bhavat. That's the Sanskrit that's being quoted. And then Gurudev renders it into English. Souls are separated parts of Krishna. Some of them are captivated by Maya. Some of them are liberated from Maya by devotion. So we've heard that analogy from the Vedas, the spark from the fire, the drop of ocean water. Consciousness means, jiva means conscious, life means conscious. So then, Guru Maharaj, when he said, so we can understand Satchidananda, we can understand that we're existing. We learn and that we are conscious. And then he talks about the food of consciousness, which is the heart matter. What is the food of consciousness? Is Anandam.
Is the heart actually that what we work with in the material world? And then it comes to the soul, and then later it's all soul. The difference between heart and soul.
Well, the soul, I don't know, that's an interesting question. The soul, is a spark of the infinite fire that is covered and the heart, I guess it's the same. Can't really answer that question specifically like that. We're always talking about the heart, follow the heart. In Christianity, there's a verse somewhere that says, and the heart is always wicked, something like that. It's very strongly. The point they're making is that you have to follow, the Shastra. The point they're making is that you have to follow, the Shastra, because your heart can lie to you, right? So already we're into, well, what do we mean by that anyway, right? And I think sometimes we're using English words that are the best we've got. Like we had that one time, that discussion here with that Dutch lady, Hari Baba, not this one, our beautiful Satchimata, no, other Dutch lady, visitor. And we mentioned something about ego, right? Ego is not our word. It's not a Vedic word. No, ahankara is their word for what we render into English as false ego, the covering of separate interest. Guru Maharaj would say separate interest. But we use this word ego because it kind of fits, but we don't mean ego in the sense that Carl Jung meant ego. He had a whole edifice of thought about what ego is. So we're just co-opting a word, really. So in some ways that may be the same about heart. It's not exactly that, but it is heartfelt. I mean, it's already sort of an analogous word, isn't it? It's not actually your heart, this muscle that's doing that, that's the tasting machine. It's already describing this inner feeling and this inner mood that we use the word heart to describe. So in that sense, I'd have to think this one a bit. I'd have to meditate on this one for a little bit, because it is a nice question, but I don't really know the answer. But ultimately, consciousness, the soul, is a tasting machine and deals in its highest satisfaction, like we're hearing in the morning, that even the devatas, not even the devatas, the avatars are experiencing this bhakti bhava, the mood of devotion, whether it's Nityananda, Balaram, full, non-different to the Lord, but they have this extra tasting matter, because they're servitors, which is so astonishing that ultimately even the Lord himself wants to taste that, and we have the appearance of our Gauranga Sundar for that purpose amongst many. So, I mean, we are always limited by the language that we have. And I was seeing this, what was it? One of those songs we were singing this morning, it was Rasa Vai Sai Boli Veda. Raso Sa Raso Sa Vai Boli Veda. 4 words, right? And the English was very cumbersome to say that. And you are the embodiment of knowledge, cognizance, and bliss, and it was this big long sentence. And even then, rasa's not so easily translated, but we do what we can. Yes, it's bliss and it's so many things. And Gurudev always saying about spiritual life as a whole, it is a heart transaction. So I guess, it's all down in that world. Every step is dance, and every word is a song. And this whole Divya Gyan comes to us as this beautiful song of divine poetry, divine song that washes through the 3 worlds. So I guess in that respect, these words like heart and this and that is also part of that. It's a beautiful poetical expression that tries to capture some inner mood and feeling that isn't easily captured. So we have these words that aren't literal, but we understand what they mean, some core expression or core feeling. Anyway, it's nice to think about. Mm-hmm. I don't really have a conclusive answer, but it's an interesting to think. It's also fine, fine, finer, finest, finer, finer, finest. We're going to start chapter 7 then. It's Hare Krishna. It's a wonderful chapter as well. It's a super wonderful chapter. In fact, mind you, they all are, but still. Chapter 7 is called The Waves of Birth and Death. Hare Krishna. Bhai Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. The Waves of Birth and Death. Chapter 7. The mundane world is a place of exploitation. No one can live there without exploiting others. It has been described in the scriptures as Boga Maya Bhumika. Boga Maya Bhumika. Ahastani Sahastanam Apadani Chatushpadam Falguni Tachamahatam Jivo Jivasya Jivanam. Those who have hands live on those who have no hands. Those who have 4 legs live on those who have no legs. The big live on the small. No living being can maintain its body without exploitation, because every living being's food is another living being. In the mundane world, everyone is exploiting everyone. And there was a great punk rock song back in the day, with a lady who at that time was called Polystyrene, but she became a devotee. Madhusudan Maharaj met her, and she had a song, I live off you and you live off me, all punky, and the whole world lives off of everybody, baby gonna be exploited, like that. They were called X-ray specs. They were great. In the mundane world, everyone is exploiting everyone. You don't get punk rock in these classes as often as we should probably. No one's life can continue without exploitation. No one's life can continue without exploitation. Impossible. The Jiva souls are by nature active. They must always do something. And in this world, the Jiva souls cannot do anything without exploiting others. If someone eats something, he eats someone else's energy. If one builds a house or a stadium or anything, he has to take the material to build that from somewhere. Even if he wants to fill in a hole, he must dig up earth from elsewhere to do that. Every Jiva soul takes the energy it needs to act and maintain its body from other living beings in the form of the products produced by the sky, air, fire, water and earth. In this way, the embodied Jiva souls are forced to exploit each other to fulfill their needs and desires in this mundane world. This is always the situation in the mundane environment, exploiting to exist. And then next section we call action and reaction. We have seen that sometimes scientists who study the mundane world come to understand something about scriptural thought. For example, I've heard from Srila Guru Maharaj that about Isaac Newton and his third law of motion. To every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. Newton's third law is a perfect explanation of karma. The theory of karma is very clearly explained in Srimad Bhagavad Gita. What Newton recently discovered, the law of karma, was actually explained in Srimad Bhagavad Gita 5,000 years earlier. Tetam bhuktva svaga lokam vishalam shine punya matyam lokam visanti evam chai dhamam anuprapana gatagatam kama kama labante. That's Gita. Within the mundane universe, pious Jiva souls enjoy in the heavenly planets, and impious Jiva souls suffer in hellish planets after leaving their earthly bodies. When the Jiva soul's positive or negative karmic reactions are finished, they are born again in the earthly plane. Srimad Bhagavad Gita explains in this way how creation and the wheel of karma revolve within the material environment, round and round. It's like a forest fire. Samsara Dhamma. The mundane universe is a passing show. Gacchati iti jagat. The Jiva souls are constantly revolving up and down through the different species and planes of life in this universe according to their karma. The Jiva souls try in so many ways to find satisfaction, but none of their attempts are successful. Kabu svage utaya, kabu narake dubaya, danya jane raja jena nadita jubaya. In material, that's from Chaitanya Charitamrita. In material life, the Jiva souls are sometimes raised to heaven or material prosperity, and sometimes drowned in a hellish situation by their karma. This experience of the Jiva soul is similar to a king's punishment of a criminal. When a king wants to punish a criminal, he orders his servant to take this criminal, drown him until he is nearly dead, raise him up, give him one breath, and then force him underwater again. What we call waterboarding in the modern world. Been going on a long time, and is going on with all of us in the greater scheme of things. Drown him until he's nearly dead, raise him up, give him one breath, and then under the water again. The Jiva soul's existence and passing enjoyment in this world is comparable to being forced above and below water again and again. Hare Krishna. The equal and opposite reactions of the Jiva soul's exploitative actions, done even for survival, force them into this condition. So you could say, but I'm only doing it, I've got to eat. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's the plane of exploitation. Every action has got a reaction. There's even a little picture of Isaac Newton. Very nice wig. I'm very glad we don't have to wear wigs like that anymore. Inescapable karma. We can also recognize Newton's third law in another verse of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Matra spashis tukuntaya shitoshna shuka dukada agama paino nichas tam titikshvasva bharata. Heat, cold, happiness, distress, sadness, and all the other phases of mundane life come and go. They are a passing show. Whenever happiness comes, sadness follows it. And whenever sadness comes, happiness follows it. This is the nature of the material environment. The Jiva souls must tolerate these changes. Happiness and sadness are actually the reactions to the Jiva soul's own activities. All of the Jiva soul's experiences and actions register within the cyclic system of karma, and no Jiva soul can avoid the reactions produced by karma. The next section is called Miraculous News. Miraculous news! Jai. In the Mahabharata, Dharmaraj. Oh, remember? Dharmaraj, who's anyway, asked Yudhisthira Maharaj, what is the news in this world? What is the news in this world? Yudhisthira Maharaj replied, Mashattu dharvi parigate parigatena suyagnina ratri divendanena asmin mahamoha maya kathahe utani kala prachyativata. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So this is Yamaraj asking Yudhisthira, Dharmaraj asking Yudhisthira, what is the news? And Yudhisthira Maharaj replied, Jai, what is the news of this world? He says, the news of this world is that the conditioned jiva souls are being cooked by Mahakal, universal time, in the pot of worldly illusion, which is heated by the fire of the sun and burns on the firewood of the days and nights. The pot is stirred by the ladles of the months and seasons, and within the pot, the jiva souls are suffering so much, covered with the masala flavoring of karma, lust, krodha, anger, lobha, greed, mada, pride, moha, illusion, matsarya, envy, and the desires for kanak, wealth, kamini, women, and pratishta, fame. This is the only news in this world. This is the only news in this world. We're being cooked. Dharmaraj then asked Yudhisthira Maharaj, what is miraculous in this world? Yudhisthira Maharaj replied, Ahanyahani bhutani gachanti yama mandiram shashastavaram ichanti kim ascharyam mata param. What is miraculous? Day by day, the embodied souls are suffering so much in their worldly lives and finally departing for the house of death. Day by day, before their eyes, death takes away their father, mother, sons, daughters, neighbors, and so on. But the jiva souls who stay behind think, I will not go. I will never die. I will stay here and enjoy everything. So many others have gone, but I won't. I will stay here and enjoy.
Rob, I have a question. I know it says that, but everyone knows they're going to die, so I don't understand the answer.
Everyone else has died, but death will never come for me. I will stay here forever. Well, what do they call it in memento mori? Is that everybody knows it, sure, but whether we actually consider that point and
Live up to it.
Realize its significance. That's the thing. A memento mori was the expression of to remember that you will die, instead of putting it to one side and living your life as if you never will. That should be, it's not that we have to walk around morbidly thinking like that all the time, oh, no, but that should be a factor in our what's the word I'm looking for? In our movement, you know, that I'm not going to be here forever. And it's true. In fact, Yudhisthira Maharaj says it's an amazing thing that we see it, but we don't actually. It's different for people on spiritual paths tend to realize that more. That yes, I am. This is temporary, so my energy should be spent more towards the eternal. I still got to feed myself, I've still got to do those things. But energy should also be given to the spiritual side of life, what we consider the eternal and the real, because of its eternality. Whereas everything's designed for you not to think of it and to buy into the lie that you just need to upgrade your computer or, you know, acquire, control, consume. These are the things that will make you happy. Distraction, infinite scroll, the latest Harry Potter, the the latest video. You just look at the billboard. Oh, that's an ancient idea. He just said, drink more ghee. He said it's all atheistic philosopher of ancient India. Everything came out of India. Every kind of conception you can think of has some root there. And that was his conclusion. It's just all atoms jiggling about. There's no purpose or meaning to any of it. So drink more ghee. You know, have a cheese sandwich. You know, do what you like. That was his conclusion. So that is an approach that more or less is very widespread. You only live once. You know, eat, drink, and be merry, kind of thing. That's one approach. But you will die, and then we will see. So we've been, you know. And ultimately, it's Shraddha is the beginning of everything. Shraddha is that fine substance that Guru Maharaj says can take us to the furthest and highest places, and it's not easily divinable. You know, faith in the Vaishnava, the Guru, in that vibration that comes to us through the books and so many, you know, that Shabda Brahman, this divine sound, Anivrite Shabdat, the Vedas say by sound we are liberated, by what comes in the ear can move us, and it is subtle. It's not like we can understand that, you know, he's done. It has an effect, but the Shabda Brahman's not like that. It's not a rave sound. It's absolutely something different and fine. And what's the Brahmanda Brahmita Konya Bhagyavana Jeev? To catch it, you have to have some fortune. You know, it's like when we're walking down the street. You know, I've seen it with my own eyes, and it is astounding, and it makes you think these things. You know, when a Harinam or something, and you've got the kids are there, and the girls are all dressed up like little gopis, and they've got all the flowers on their face, and the little saris on, and they're absolutely beautiful, running around, and they've got a basket of sweet balls that so-and-so's made in the temple that are just astounding, these bliss balls or whatever they are. And the kids are just running up to people as we're going through the street, handing out bliss balls. Vegan, gluten-free, everybody can take it. You know, we think about these things. We don't want to, you know. So it couldn't be more wonderful. Simply wonderful, but not simply wonderful, because they're not vegan. And some people are like, oh, thank you. Oh, and some people are, ugh. And you're like, what decides that? You know, with an innocent little child trying to give you a sweet, and some people are all like happily taking, even if they don't actually want to eat the sweet, they'll take it anyway and give it to someone else, you know. And other people are absolutely, almost angrily, no. Well, this is, you know, Bhagyavana Jeev. What else is it? It's something behind that makes it like that. It's not the situation, it's something in them. And, you know, we hear that is called Sukriti, and it's some sort of some makeup of past history, previous experience, previous fortune. That means one person says, oh, thank you very much, and takes that, and if we follow that thread, then maybe some, you know, conscious fortune comes to them from that. So that's why the Vaishnavas are aware that these are subtle and fine things, and that's why their prayers are always not to be divorced from that fineness. It's very easily, you know, the world is so loud, our senses are strong, so to be covered and overcome is, you know, is very expected, really, you can say. It's absolutely going against the current, against the wave. So the Vaishnavas were always praying, you know, we were singing this morning, Amara Jivana, we were singing Kirupe Paibo Seva, we were singing Jai Mahaprabhu. So many things. And to try and they're singing with sincerity and earnestness, even though actually they're very high and wonderful souls and not so easily swept around like me. You know, they're in the guru section, heavy like the Himalaya. But still, if we've been allowed a glimpse of that sweet family life, if we've been given a glimpse of that sweetness and it touches us, then we have to pray that, whatever it is and wherever I am and however, you know, whatever is my lamentable condition, please, my Lord, I've seen something there, something's touched me there, something wonderful, and please don't let it come to me in this lifetime, in the next, whatever it may be. Don't let me go away from that. Don't let me lose that, you know. So we're trying to pray sincerely. We're praying for sincerity. How do you do that sincerely? Well, that goes round and round, you know.
What attracted you to spiritual life?
Devotees, heart, that was all it was, really. I'm not a philosopher, not at all. I fancied myself as a philosopher of this and that, but I wasn't really. I just was sort of dilettante, I think is the word. I did read philosophical books and stuff. I like, you know, but really, no, it was sweet devotees, actually, and not in it wasn't in a temple setting, admittedly. It was like in the mountains of North Wales where I met devotees, even though I'd been to India a couple of times, but it was in North Wales, and it was just family life, but it was children running around, and it was having kirtan, and it was seeing the beautiful deities. And actually what really got me was going to the river, through the woods, to the little wooden bridge with the kids, taking the basket of flowers from the Ganesha and from Krishna and from around the house, and chucking them in the water and watching them float down the river. That's what... And I thought, I don't know what this is, but I love it. This is beautiful. Yeah, so it was that. It wasn't... And then I tried to read the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and I'm like... I couldn't cope with any of it, even Gita or anything. It was too much for me. The book that I was able to digest was it was a small black and white paperback with a black and white cover. It was the condensed version of the Lilamrita, the Prabhupada's biography. It was called He Built a House Which the Whole World Could Live In, something like that. So it was quite a small book with him, very easy to read. Although it was infused with philosophy, of course, it's an ISKCON book, and you're learning about, you know, karma and the soul and that, but it was written as about, you know, the young Abhay Charan was born in Kolkata, and so it was more easy to because I really couldn't cope with it was too much for me. So, and then we're told that that's not a wrong thing, that happy plane is affectionate and familial. It's like that. So I have to remember these things, that yes, that's, you know, we don't want to get lost. And didn't Guru Maharaj say that? Always remember what first brought you. Because something genuine first brought you. And then you can lose that and become lost or absorbed or enamored, whatever the word is, in something else that's not quite that. I don't know, I'd have to think that one through, but...
Complacent?
Yeah, complacent or... Huh?
the academics of it.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Something else, whether it, yeah, that, yeah. And we're warned about that by Rupa Goswami and others. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Saraswati Thakur telling us that the spiritual wave is free and pure and unfettered, and that the religious institutions and things like that are the dams and dikes of the spiritual current. So they're not useless. You don't build a dam or a dike for no purpose. You build it to generate power or to keep the water out of Hilachom or whatever it is. But that's not it. You know, they were very cautious about making temples and institutions and societies, Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Saraswati Thakur, because they knew you can get swept away into something else then.
Can you be more precise? That I'm getting lost a bit.
Well, you can, you know, if you're wandering around tree to tree to tree, singing the holy names, you know, and surrender to the fact that today you may eat or you may not eat, you're absolutely free otherwise. As soon as you get an institution, you get a temple. And why do we have temples? Because they're great to have. We worship the deity. It's a place where we can sit not in the rain and snow and sleet. And, you know, it has purpose, right? But as soon as you have that, then you've got to have a temple manager, and you've got to have this, and you've got to have funds coming in, and you've got to have this whole constellation of stuff going on, which is in support of the ideal, but in and of itself, it may or may not be, right? So you've got hierarchy, you've got management, you've got money, you've got all these things added into the mix. So, and you know, we're always hearing about religiosity. You know, it can lead you from what was once a living truth about the divisions of society, right? Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishnava, Sudra. Anyway, to how it is now in India, that my dad's a Brahmin, so I am, so give me your money. You know, that's what it becomes. That's not what Krishna was saying, but that's what's happened over the course of time through this edifice. And that's why Krishna says, yada yada idamasya. It gets polluted, it gets messed up, it takes on the tincture of the people who have got it, and then you end up with, you know, wars between religions and this and that, because I'm right and nobody else is, and it's all in my old book, and if you don't believe my old book, I'm going to kill you. That's where we end up.
Are you saying the religious institution, the temple, obscures the Vaishnava Thakur?
No, it's just, no, because they went ahead with it because they took the risk. They said that we need these things. This Mahaprabhu's mission is not just for a few fortunate souls in India who happen to make it to that cave where the sadhu is living. Mahaprabhu said this should go throughout the world and to everyone. And we want to serve that mission. What do we need? We need books. Oh, right. We're going to need a printing press, we're going to need paper, we're going to need translators. We're going to need somewhere all to come together. We'll make a center in Kolkata. We'll make a we'll make a temple in, of course, if the temple is there, the deity will be there. This is where everyone can come together, can serve the deities, can have Harinam Sankirtan. We can have our office where the real work is going on, where we're making the daily newspaper they had, where we're making the books, you know. So this, and that's all wonderful and good. But we're always warned, but we have to remember why we're doing it and what we're doing it, and not be, it's delicate, you know, not be not become sort of bemused. So we're so focused on something else.
And then also speculation comes in. That you think, oh, I have an idea, this is now more modern and then it gets deviated.
Right.
And that's why I think you always need a pure Vaishnava
Yes.
in the world
Right.
to
Keeps us on track.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very important point. Somebody who's actually a devotee can keep us all adjusted.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can just become like, we've seen it many times in India and elsewhere. The temple's simply a money-making machine for whoever's sitting by the deity. Well, that's not what it's about, but we see it all the time. That's what it's become. And we don't want to become like that. But our Gurudevs will save us from becoming like that. But they've said these things very matter-of-factly. Oh, Hare Krishna.
It's the RT.
Huh?
It's the RT.
It's RT. I've got one Venezuelan Pujari eyeing me up.
Sorry, I have a question. How does Guruji bring us back to it? So we're concentrated in something.
Mm-hmm.
How does it bring it? How should we know that? Thank you, I've been brought back
Right.
into alignment. Because we do easily get consumed in all our Maya.
Yes.
Yeah. And then there's doubt, is this true or not? But, how do we know this? Thank you. You've brought me back to where I should have been. And I'd leave everything to you. How do we know? Is it a strong feeling? Or is it an awareness? Or is it a message? Or somebody says something in passing? Or is it a coincidence?
Well, I guess it could be all those things, but we have to take our medicine. That's the thing. The guru is the doctor, is the physician, is the expert surgeon, is so many things, and they've given the medicine. The world, the world is so loud and so consuming, and it's more and more so in this weirdo modern world that we live in. It's all in the digital space, and things are happening that. Absolutely, it's new, terra incognito, a new thing. But the solution's still the same, really. So we have to receive and chant the Maha Mantra. This is the medicine for the age of Kali, and we have to hear. We have to hear. The reason we have our daily program in the temple is so we can hear. It's like set aside time when nothing else is happening. The kitchen is going on, but this is it. And we know in your busy life you really have to make time for that when you've got a family and you've got to get to work. You've got to say, okay, I'm going to get up at this time and I'm going to have half an hour and I'm not dealing with anything. That's the time for my sadhana. That's when I'll chant, I'll read something, or I'll listen to something. It's absolutely fundamental and crucial. But we have to, we're singing in the morning, take it. It's all right hearing about it and thinking about it, but that it has to be taken. Because the medicine is there for these, mantra will soothe the mind, it will calm that down, and then Cheto Dapanam Ajanam Bhavamahada Vagnini Vapanam. The effect of the Maha Mantra will, pour water on the on the blazing fire of samsara, and the mirror of the heart will become clean, and the lotus of the heart will begin to open. It's so beautiful. This is the path. That's why it's Maha Mantra. That's why Mahaprabhu's coming. So, and that will give everything. So, Shravanam, Kirtanam, hearing and chanting. This is our medicine. And it's so much easier when we come together. Yeah. It gives us enthusiasm. It gives us, it's like this one twig is broken easily, but a bunch of twigs you can't break. Something like that. I just found it out the other day. The motto of the London borough of Hounslow is Let us go forward together. It's on the crest, I saw it in town. So that's very good. Let us go forward together. We'll try and do that. Jai Gurudev, Jai Gaura Hari. Apologies to the Pujari for being so late. Hare Krishna. Jai Gurudev, Jai Gaura Hari.